Join us in the fight to restore liberty and American exceptionalism. Together, let's make the case that our charters of freedom are worth defending and honoring. Right here is where the great American experiment comes alive. Let's get to work. This is a call to action to my fellow Americans. The time of sitting, crying, and wondering what can be done is over. We must step outside of the confines of our cozy lifestyles and defend an America that is under attack. In 2012, retired U.S. Supreme Court Justice David Souter boldly made a declaration that is absolutely true. Let's listen in.
My question tonight is really around where we started this conversation, which was really around the schools. If you could share with us your thoughts about what the appropriate role and probably responsibility as well of our schools to produce civically engaged students.
I'll start with the bottom line. I don't believe there is any problem of American politics and American public life which is more significant today than the pervasive civic ignorance of the Constitution of the United States and the structure of government. But the reason I said that I think it is the most significant problem that we've got is that I think some of the aspects of current American government that people on both sides find frustrating are in part a function of the inability of people to understand how government can and should function. It is a product of civic ignorance. I don't worry about our losing Republican government in the United States because I'm afraid of a foreign invasion. I don't worry about it because I think there is going to be a coup by the military, as has happened in some other places. What I worry about is that when problems are not addressed, people will not know who is responsible. And when the problems get bad enough, as they might do, for example, with another serious terrorist attack, as they might do with another financial meltdown, some one person will come forward and say, "Give me total power and I will solve this problem."
Justice Souter nailed it. He declared that pervasive civic ignorance is one of the greatest problems America faces today, and even went so far as to claim that this lack of knowledge could lead to a dictatorship if not remedied quickly. America has an unfortunate problem on our hands, and we must look no further than ourselves for the solution. As Benjamin Franklin said to the lady who asked what the delegates of the Philadelphia Convention had given the American people, "A republic if you can keep it." Notice, it's not a republic if your mayor can keep it, a republic if your governor can keep it, a republic if your congressman can keep it. It's a republic if you can keep it. In other words, we should not look as a first priority to our political leaders for answers. We must look to ourselves. And as we evolve into an educated populace, we will see significant change in our culture. Significant. Why? Because those in government are nothing more than a direct reflection of the values of the people. What we stand for is largely mirrored in the actions of those whom we elect. When the citizenry cares less about freedom, tyranny will result, because where there is no accountability, which revolves around the paradigm of freedom, carte blanche to exercise unlimited power erupts. When a society establishes freedom as a first priority, liberty and even prosperity will spring forth. Thomas Jefferson promised that tyranny would vanish like evil spirits at the dawn of day if the people were educated. Benjamin Franklin amplified the point when he told us that it is in the region of ignorance that tyranny begins. As we recognize together what is becoming more and more obvious, this all begs the question as to whether there is a practical solution to help get our culture back on track. There is. Be courageous, involved, and informed. Learn how to use our Constitution as a sword and a shield. Let me just give you a simple example on how this is done. We know that our Constitution has 7 articles and 27 amendments. The first 3 articles of our Constitution are critical. Article 1 speaks to the legislative branch. Article 2 speaks to the executive branch. Article 3, to the judicial branch. Let's start asking the questions and insisting that those individuals who occupy the positions within those three branches of government justify their actions through their enumerated powers. Make them answer for it. To the legislature, where in Article 1 do you have the authority to enact health care legislation? To the executive, where in Article 2 do you have the authority to sign executive orders that bypass the legislative process? To the judicial branch, where in Article 3, taken in context with the supremacy clause of Article 6, do you have the authority to do anything other than apply our Constitution to your rulings? We have an obligation, my friends. As Thomas Jefferson said, we cannot experience ignorance and freedom. We must understand, retain, and implement that which is our birthright, freedom. We must remain vigilant if we wish to relish in the great American experiment. Let's make this happen together.